What's up, Dunk Court Nation? May 2025, the Western Conference Semifinals. Game 1 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Steph Curry drives baseline, plants his foot, and immediately grabs his left hamstring. He limps to the bench. The two-time MVP, the greatest shooter who ever lived, tries to fight through it, but can't. The injury lingers. The series is over in 5 games, a blowout. Another season ends with Curry's body breaking down, and the question becomes impossible to ignore. Is this dynasty actually over? Here's what Warriors fans have been watching for years. This isn't one injury. It's a pattern, and it's accelerating. Let's go through the timeline. 2011 and 2012, Steph undergoes multiple ankle surgeries. The Warriors genuinely questioned whether they'd given a max contract to a player whose career might be over before it really started. 2016, knee sprain in the playoffs. He comes back against Portland, but he's compromised against Cleveland. The 73-win season ends in heartbreak. 2019, hand fracture against the Suns. Steph misses 58 games. The Warriors finish with the worst record in the NBA. 2022, foot injury, specifically a sprained ligament in his left foot. He misses the final month of the regular season. 2023-24, ankle injuries cost him 11 games in a season where the Warriors desperately needed every win. 2024-25, bilateral knee tendonitis in November and December forces him out of multiple games. A quad contusion in late November. And now, the hamstring strain that compromised him from Game 1 and effectively ended their playoff run. In the last 5 seasons, Steph Curry has missed approximately 75 games due to injury. That's more than a full season. For context, in that same span, LeBron James missed about 85 games, despite being 2 years older. Kevin Durant, who everyone considers injury-prone, missed over 200. But here's what makes Steph's situation different. His game requires constant explosion. Every crossover, every cut, every time he sprints off a screen and plants for that pull-up 3, he's asking his 37-year-old joints and muscles to do what they did when he was 27. And increasingly, they can't answer. But the injury crisis is only half the story. Let's talk about the financial reality that's strangling this franchise. The Warriors paid Steph Curry $55.76 million this season. When he's on the court dominating, that's worth every penny. When he's compromised in Game 1 of a playoff series and the team gets blown out in 5, that's an anchor pulling the entire team underwater. The Warriors' total payroll for 2024-25 started at around $177 million. But after the Jimmy Butler trade in February, a desperation move to salvage the season, it ballooned significantly. Their luxury tax bill? Another $177 million. This is a franchise spending well over $350 million for a team that finished as the 7th seed and lost in the second round. Draymond Green earned $25.9 million this year. He's 35 years old. His offensive limitations are glaring. And while he's still a solid defender, he's not the defensive player of the year he once was. The Warriors were paying Andrew Wiggins $28.2 million before trading him to Miami for Jimmy Butler. That trade was supposed to be the championship catalyst. Instead, Butler arrived, played 20 games, and couldn't carry an injury-riddled roster past Minnesota. When Steph went down in Game 1, this expensive, veteran-laden roster looked lost. Without him healthy, they're not a lottery team. This season proved they could tread water at around 500. But treading water for $350 million? That's not a dynasty. That's desperation. The Warriors are capped out. They have almost no trade assets. Their young players, Kuminga, Moody, haven't developed into reliable playoff performers. And with Steph's injury history mounting, they're trapped. Too expensive to rebuild. Too limited to truly contend. So let's answer the question directly. Is the Warriors dynasty over? Yes. And the cruelest part is how it ended. Not with a dramatic finals loss, but with a hamstring injury in Game 1 that they couldn't overcome. Think about how dynasties usually end. The Lakers' Showtime era ended when Magic announced his retirement. The Bulls ended when Jordan walked away and the team was dismantled. The Heatleys ended when LeBron went home to Cleveland. But the Warriors? The Warriors are dying the slow death. Injury by injury, season by season. Fighting just to make the playoffs, then watching their 37-year-old star's body give out in game. This season, the Warriors started strong, 15-8 in November. Then the injury bug hit. Steph's knee tendonitis, the quad issue. They went 4-13 in a brutal stretch and suddenly found themselves fighting for playoff position instead of championship seeding. The Jimmy Butler trade in February was a Hail Mary. It helped. Butler averaged 21 points in the playoffs. But when your championship hopes depend on a 35-year-old rental and a 37-year-old with a history of playoff injuries, you're not building a dynasty. You're clinging to the past. They beat Houston in the first round, 4-3. They actually led that series 3-1 before Houston made it interesting. Then came Minnesota. The Warriors won Game 1, but Curry's hamstring couldn't hold. He tried to play through it, but he was compromised. Minnesota saw the weakness and attacked. They blew the Warriors out in the next 4 games. The series was over in 5, and just like that, the season was done. Here's the tragic reality. This dynasty wasn't defeated by a better team. It was defeated by biology, by age, by the simple fact that 37-year-old bodies can't sustain the wear and tear of 100-game seasons anymore. The Warriors won 4 championships in 8 years. They revolutionized basketball. The three-pointer went from a specialty shot to the foundation of modern offense because of what Steph did. He's the most influential player of this generation. But influence doesn't stop hamstrings from straining. Championships don't prevent knee tendonitis. So what's next? The Warriors have limited options, and all of them are painful. They can run it back one more time. Keep this core together for one final push. Hope that Steph's body holds up for an entire season. Hope that Draymond can still anchor a defense. Hope that their young players finally take the leap. This is the sentimental choice. It's probably also the futile choice. Or they can face reality. Trade assets while they still have value. Build around whatever young talent they can develop. Accept that the dynasty is over and start preparing for what comes next. Either way, one thing is undeniable. The Warriors as a championship contender, the team that made basketball beautiful and terrifying at the same time, that team is gone. What remains is a well-paid, aging roster fighting against time. And time is undefeated. So here we are. The dynasty that defined a generation, brought down not by a rival super team, but by something far simpler. Time. Steph Curry's hamstring. Injury in Game 1 wasn't just a physical setback, it was symbolic. A reminder that even the greatest shooters age, even revolutionary teams decline, even dynasties built on joy and beautiful basketball have to end. The Warriors gave us a decade of unforgettable basketball. The unanimous MVP season in 2016, the 73-9 record, 4 championships, the shot over Kevin Love, the comeback from 3-1 against OKC, Steph dancing on the Celtics parquet floor in 2022 with his 4th ring. Those moments are eternal. But the team that created them, that team is finished. Now I want to hear from you. 2 questions. First, the Warriors traded Andrew Wiggins for Jimmy Butler mid-season. It didn't work. Should they have made that move? Or did they mortgage future assets for nothing? Second, Steph Curry averaged 28 points per game this season and was still elite when healthy. But with 75 games missed in 5 years and a playoff-ending hamstring injury in Game 1, is he still a top 10 player in this league? Or has durability moved him out of that conversation? The dynasty is over. The debate about what comes next? That's just beginning.